All right, we're going to talk about graphing and functions. So when we're graphing, we're going to graph on the coordinate plane. The coordinate plane is broken up into 4 quadrants and the 2 axes. So we have our x-axis, our y-axis, and then we have quadrants 1, 2, 3, 4. Quadrant 1 is where x and y are both positive. Quadrant 2, negative x, positive y. Quadrant 3 is negative x, negative y, and quadrant 4 is positive x, negative y. Now, we have these coordinates. The first one is x, the second one is y. The x tells me left or right. The y tells me up or down. So when I graph these, I'm going to graph A is negative 3, 5. So I'm going to go left 3, 1, 2, 3, up 5, and I'm going to label that as A. Now B says 2, negative 4, so I'm going to go right 2, down 4, and I'm going to label that as B. Now, a lot of times when we're graphing, we may not know what a graph looks like. And so because we don't know, a lot of times we want to pick a table of values. Now, when you're picking a table of values, make sure that you pick some negative numbers, 0, and some positive numbers. And hopefully you understand what this graph looks like in general. You may not specifically know, but here I have an x squared, so that's going to give me a quadratic, a parabola. So it's either going to go up and then back down, or down then up. And if I don't see that in my numbers here, then I probably haven't picked a wide enough range of input values. So we're going to start by plugging in these. And when we plug this in, so this becomes 4 minus negative 3 squared. So anytime I square a negative, it's going to turn that to a positive. So if you're using a calculator, be careful, put parentheses around your negative and then square it so it gets positive. So this ends up becoming 4 minus 9, which is negative 5. I'm going to plug in negative 2, so 4 minus negative 2 squared is going to give me 0. I'm going to plug in negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. I plug in 0. I get 4 minus 0 is 4. I plug in 1. 4 minus 1 squared is 3. 4 minus 2 squared is 0. And then this is going to give me negative 5. So you notice that these numbers do start low, get bigger, and then come back low again. So they go up, then down. And that's what we want. So we're going to plot these. Negative 3, negative 5, negative 2, 0, 1, 3, 0, 4, 1, 3, 2, 0, 3, negative 5. And so there's my plotting of those points. And then that's going to be my graph right there. So we're really talking about functions here. And functions are for each x, or my input, there is only one y, or my output. Okay? So we want to make sure that for every input, there's only one output. And that brings us kind of to our function notation. So y equals 2x plus 3 can be written as f of x equals 2x plus 3. Where y equals f of x. This is not f times x, okay? So don't think that this is a multiplication and you're solving for x. That's not what this is. This says f of x. The nice thing about function notation is it tells me my input. So it tells me which is my input. So it tells me 4 is my input. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to go 2 times 4 plus 3. That gives me 8 plus 3, which is 11. I'm going to plug in negative 1. 2 times negative 1 plus 3 is negative 2 plus 3, which is 1. So it tells me my input, okay? So up here, I could have written this as f of x equals 4 minus x squared. Now, we're going to talk about the vertical line test. The vertical line test is a visual representation of a graph to see if it's a function, okay? So if any vertical line intersects a graph in more than one spot, the graph is not a function. So it's for any vertical line. So when I'm coming through here, I would draw in my vertical lines here and see if this intersects. Well, this one intersects here, here, and here. So this one intersects, one vertical line intersects it in 3 spots. So this is not a function. So that vertical line test is a visual representation to show if a graph is a function or not. And so then my last one here is I put all these vertical lines in here. Do any of those vertical lines intersect that graph more than once? The answer is no. So this is a function. Okay, so that's a review on graphing and functions with function notation.